Hello, my friends. I'm Dr. Bree, and I have a really fun routine for you today. It's an abs and core and cardio routine all mixed into one. So let's begin with just marching in place. And I want you to follow the little inset picture I have here of me marching so that you can follow along with me. But I'm going to stop right now just so I can talk to you about what's to come. So basically, this is a great routine to really focus on for the winter when a lot of us are staying indoors a little bit more. It's gloomy and it's hard to go outside and get our exercise on. So we're going to get some great cardio in this session, but we're going to begin by prepping our core and our pelvic floor with some great exercises to really learn how to activate that center line so that you're really safe and stable and secure throughout the cardio portion. So we're going to begin with that, and then after the cardio portion, we're actually going to end by kind of recovering and restoring our pelvic floor muscles if they felt any pressure during the cardio, and we're also going to release. So it's a totally comprehensive, well-rounded routine, and I hope you're going to enjoy it. Really great for those of us who are going into hibernation mode of winter. And that's the other quick thing I wanted to tell you is that this is actually going to be the last video for a little while because I myself am going to be going into some of a hibernation mode for a bit. So please, if you love FemFusion Fitness, if you love this channel, please subscribe and click the little bell so that you get notifications as soon as I'm back in action with my regular weekly videos, because I will be taking a little mini break. So let's go ahead and wrap up our warm up and get right into our pelvic floor and core activation. So begin with core breathing. I want you to put your hands on your kind of belly and abdominal area here, just your ribs, your belly. And I want you to begin by exhaling and feeling your hands come together. Now inhale and feel your hands draw apart as you expand into those abs and your ribs. Now exhale, hands come together. One more time, inhaling, and I'm just going to show you big with the hands. Inhaling, expansion, and then exhaling, everything comes together. Now on this next inhale and exhale, I'd like for you to expand on the inhale, and then as you exhale, not only feel the belly pull in and the ribs get smaller, but also feel the pelvic floor lift. So it's like you're doing a little bit of a Kegel. Now, release it as you inhale, expand, and as you exhale, do it one more time. So exhale, belly draws in, pelvic floor lifts, and you'll feel your ribs coming together as well. Now, hold that engaged position where your pelvic floor is lifted, your belly is gently drawn in, and your ribs are not jutting forward. They're actually kind of knitted inward as well. So you're certainly not like this, but you're just nice and engaged and firm through that core. Practice breathing now a little bit higher up into your chest as you keep this lower part active. Now this is what I call zipping up. So your butt muscles are not clenched, but you're active and lifted through the core, and especially the lower core, you're really feeling it deep, deep, deep right in here. You're nice, tall with your posture, and you're still certainly breathing, but you are breathing a little bit higher into the chest. So this is the position where you're really going to be the most secure during your isolated core exercises and during any move that requires a little extra balance. It's also the position that you want to be in when you're transitioning between movements. It's a really engaged position that stabilizes your core, protects your low back, and it's a really, really safe position for you to be in so that you don't feel like you are opening and releasing anything down low. You're engaged and lifted. Now let it all go. Totally relax and release. Hopefully you were holding it that whole time, and you should have felt a little something, a little burn in that area just from that hold. So now take a deep belly breath, inhale, and then exhale. Feel that lift again, and come on down onto your back. So we're gonna do some ab exercises, and again, more core work, deep core work, continuing to prep our pelvic floor and our core. So let's begin with pelvic rocks. You're gonna inhale and then exhale. And as you're doing this breathing, you're gonna rock your pelvis forward and then back. Keep going with this. Inhaling as you rock forward, your back arches, and then exhaling as you rock back. I want you to bring your attention to your pelvic floor. So feel a release right here. And then as you exhale, feel your pelvic floor lift and those low abs pull in, in. Again, release, inhale, and then exhale. Feel that lift of the pelvic floor, low abs pull in. Last time here, inhale, and then exhale. Now, find a nice neutral position. So you're not arched and you're not pressed into the mat. You're really, really neutral with your spine. So in this position, if you had a little triangle between your fingers on your pelvis, the triangle would be flat. It wouldn't be with the point tipped up toward the ceiling, and the point also wouldn't be tipped down toward the floor. So it's a nice flat little triangle on your belly. I want you to now zip up that core like we did at the beginning with the exhale, where you felt that lift of the pelvic floor and the pulling in of those low abs, and the ribs felt like they were coming in. They weren't flaring up and apart. Everything was really engaged down here, right? Remember that feeling? Find it again. And I want you to keep this so strong that you could bounce a quarter off of it. You have that nice neutral spine position as you lift 1 foot off the floor like a ½ an inch. It's a tiny amount, and then set it down. And then the other foot lifts off the floor a ½ an inch. It's a tiny amount. And you should really feel strength and activation of these deep core muscles. Keep going back and forth and keep breathing. And definitely keep your hands on your pelvic area so you feel that nothing is moving side to side in your pelvis and your low back is not arching up and down as you lift one leg and then the other. So what we're doing with this is we are learning how to really activate and use our core muscles to stabilize against your moving legs. Go ahead and go one more time back and forth, feeling that activation, and then release. Let it go. So hopefully you felt that all the way around. Never any pain, but definitely activation in those core muscles. Take a deep, deep belly breath, and now let's come onto our elbow and our knees. We're going to do a little side plank series. So in this position, elbow is right under your shoulder, and your knees are actually pointed straight out from your body. Make sure that that elbow is in and it's not way out here. So keep everything really strong, and we're going to lift up. Hold your side plank from your knees and your elbow really strong, and now straighten that top leg. And here we go, strong and lifted, pelvic floor, low abs, everything is engaged and active, and we squeeze and straighten. Squeeze and straighten. Take your time with this. Feel the core working. Exhale and inhale. Keep going. 3 more. 2 more. Last one. Hold it out. Bring the leg down. Come on down. Straighten the legs and come onto your side. Full side leg lift and arm lift. So exhale. You can have this bottom arm wherever it's comfortable, but I want you to feel everything lifting. Feel your side waist. Really activating as you lift that straight leg and arm. The bottom leg can be bent for balance. Let's just do 3 more. 2 more. 1 more. All right, nice job. Now, you're going to come up onto your hand. Bottom leg is going to go straight in front of or top leg goes straight in front of the bottom leg, about where the knee is. We're going to lift up into a side plank from our hand and our foot on the bottom leg side. This top leg is crossed over. Now, when you have it, wrist should be right under your shoulder. I want you to lift, lift, lift. Use this bottom side waist muscles to lift like you're arching over a rainbow, or maybe like there's something sharp underneath you or a flame underneath you and you're trying to reach away from it. Maybe even lift the arm up and breathe. You should really feel this strongly in the side waist. Hold it, hold it, hold it. One more breath. And then come on down. Nice job. Other side. So just switch on over to the other side. And here we go. We're going to begin with our elbow under our shoulder and then the knees straight out from the body. Bent. Lift up. Top leg straight. And here we go. Pelvic floor lifted, low abs pulled in, nice and strong. And knee to elbow, slow. Use your exhales. Activating this core. Stronger the abs work, the less those hip flexors have to overwork. We want to really bring the attention into the abs. This is not just a hip flexor exercise. We're working the abs to help stabilize the core. Let's do 3 more. 2 more. 1 more. And straighten it out. And then come on down onto our flat side, long arm, long leg, lifted through the pelvic floor and low abs, and straighten and down. Lifting your whole body and your leg. That bottom leg can be bent for stability. And keep breathing. I'll try to be balanced between sides, but half the time I get the number a little bit off. I think we have 3 more. 3 and 2 and 1. Those low abs are pulled in and down. All right, last move here. The hand is going to come under our shoulder. We can reposition as needed, but that foot, top leg goes in front of the bottom leg knee, and we come on up into that side plank. Pelvic floor is lifted, low abs are pulled in. Now, find that position. Wrist is under your shoulder, and I want you to use those side waist muscles to lift. Feel like there's that flame under you, or a sharp object for something you're needing to really lift and arch up. Reach the hand up if you'd like. Pull in those low abs. Make yourself work in the deep core. Holding it, feeling it. Keep going. 1 more breath. And then come on down. Wow, it's a lot, isn't it? Now come onto your knees and hands and take a minute just to rock and roll it out. Go the other way. And we're going to come onto our feet and do a little seated or kneeling pelvic tilt. So come onto your heels and roll your shoulders back. And in this position, we're going to bring our hands at our hips and exhale, lift the pelvic floor, pull in the low abs. Play with your foot position. I'm actually going to do this with my tops of my feet flat on the ground, but maybe you could do this if it's too much. You can also do it kind of gently tipped back here if you can't go all the way back onto your heels. So play with the foot position, but you're going to do a pelvic tilt and release. Pelvic tilt and release. So pelvic tilt and release. Keep going. Lift the pelvic floor, pull in the low abs and release. Keep going. Lift the pelvic floor, pull in the low abs. Exhale, release, inhale. 2 more times. Lift the pelvic floor, pull in the low abs, breathe out and inhale. Last time. And let it go. Let everything release. Do a couple of little circles, and we're going to move into our standing cardio core. Okay, so here we go. I want you to march in place right now, and we are going to go right into our intervals. So I'm going to start the interval timer. Keep marching in place. Our first move, arms are up in goalpost arms, and you're going to twist, twist, twist.
3, 2, 1, go.
Make sure your pelvic floor is lifted, low abs are pulled in, and you're twisting. Sitting back and twist, twist, knee, twist, twist, knee, twist, twist, knee, twist, twist, knee. Keep going and exhale as you drive the knee up toward your elbows. This is our first interval. Don't worry about going too hardcore right now. We have more to go. So this is just kind of a warm up. Feel your core is strong and active and you're sitting way back into the squat. Use those abs. Not just your hip flexors, use your abs too. Keep going, almost there.
3, 2, 1.
All right,
Stop.
release, shake it all out, and little kickbacks with your bottom or your heel toward your bottom. Just stretch out the front of the thigh. Our next move is a side step,
2,
little chassé.
1.
So it looks
Go.
like this. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Every time you bring your arms in and get your arms up overhead, it brings the heart rate up without adding any impact. But if you want to add a hop, it's kind of fun. So if this is too much for your pelvic floor to add a hop, then skip it. But if you like it, keep going. Really get those arms in to get the heart rate up. And right now you're slightly engaged through your core, just for stability. Keep going, keep breathing. Make the hops as big as you'd like. Have fun with it.
3, 2, 1. Stop.
Okay, release. Let it all go. Shake out the legs, little bum kickers to stretch out the hip flexors, the front of the thighs. And our next move is a grapevine.
2, 1. Go.
Looks like this. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. We're gonna add a knee lift on this next round. You can add the arms really high to get that heart rate up even more. If you'd like to add a hop, you can. Remember, your core is nice and engaged to help protect the low back, stabilize the spine, protect the pelvic floor. Keep breathing. It's the most important part.
3, 2, 1. Stop.
Shake it out, release, let it go. Whew, little bum kickers. Our next move is going to be a little plie. So we're going to begin with our heels together and toes apart.
2, 1. Go.
Zip up your core, and we go out and in, out and in, out and in, out and in. If you have prolapse and it feels like too much to have your legs go wide apart, then keep it narrower. So just go a little step out, not a big step out. If you want more, then you go deeper. You bring your arms in to it, and you step wider. Your knees are tracking out over your toes. Keep going. Sitting straight down.
3.
Don't stick your bum back too far.
1. Stop.
Release. Let it go. Let your belly be. Little bum kickers. You're doing awesome. Keep going. All right. Speed
3,
skaters.
2, 1.
We go. And stepping behind with the leg. Behind. Add the arms if you'd like. A reach and twist. Feel the core fired up, lifted. Exhale every time you twist. Make it bigger.
Three, 2, 1. Stop.
Release, 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 release. And little bum kickers. Our next move is a sassy gal side hop. So you're gonna
3, 2, 1. Go.
You're gonna really focus on bringing the knee in, using your inner thigh muscles, and you can make the side hop bigger, or you can make it very small. Now, if you wanna add a little arm sass, go for it. Keep going, really using those inner thigh muscles, and remember, you can make the side hop as big or as small as you want. Keep going. The bigger the arm movement, the more your heart rate is gonna go up. Keep those low abs gently pulled in. Keep breathing.
3, 2, 1, stop.
Whew. All right, release. And now, our next one, we have little narrow leg squats. 2 to the right, 2 to the left.
3, 2, 1.
Okay,
Go.
zip up your core, sit way back, and little tiny walks to the right and left. Now notice that I am really sitting back, and my spine is long, my heart is lifted. Keep breathing, and avoid rounding like this. We don't want this. Avoid your bum tucking under. We want to sit back. Heart is lifted, spine is long. If you want to add some arms, little triceps press. Keep going. Abs in, full body workout with a special focus on the core. Keeping our pelvic floor safe.
3, 2, 1.
Keeping our back safe too, our back and our pelvic floor. Release, always want to release. And little bum kicks. Our last 2 moves are a Charleston.
3, 2, 1.
Okay,
Go.
so you're going to lead with the right leg kicking and the left leg tapping behind. Right leg kicking, left leg behind. Right, left. If you want to add a little hop to it, you can. If you want to add a little lean back, you can. Just make sure your core is strong and active. If you want to add some arms, you can. I like to go actually out as I lean back. Down and out, down and out, down and out. Core is strong the whole time. Keep breathing. Super stable
3,
through the core.
2, 1. Stop.
And release. Let it go. Whoo-wee. You're doing awesome. We have the left leg leading first, next with the kick. So,
3,
couple of butt kicks.
2, 1. Go.
All right, zip up your core and left leg kicks, right leg taps. Kick, tap. Left leg kicks, right leg taps. Strong through the core. If you did on the other side, add those arms and the lean back. Just make sure that your belly is strong as you lean back to protect your spine and make sure you're not overly arching. You should be breathing with me.
Three, 2, 1. Stop.
And march it out. Great job. Keep marching it out. And I want you to just totally slow down the marching, totally release the pelvic floor, relax, let it go. Maybe do a couple little slow bum kickers. And actually, how about as we release the pelvic floor, do a couple of just basic little gentle kickbacks of your leg. Now, this is not one where you're super strong through your core, so keep your legs wide to make your balance easier. But the idea here is we're just kicking the leg back to stretch out the hip flexors. And let's go ahead now and keep kicking, but re-zip up our core so we're stronger through the core. Lifted through the pelvic floor, pulled in through the low abs. Make that stance narrower. It's harder on the balance when your stance is narrower. And couple of kicks with a narrow stance. Kick it back, using those butt muscles, strong through the core for balance and support. 4 more, 4, 3, 2, 1, and done. Shake it out. Our glutes tend to get a little bit of amnesia over the winter. Too much sitting can make them forget how to work. So we want to keep those buns strong and active throughout all seasons of the year. Release again, let it all go. Take a couple big hip circles, just even half circles, just anything to kind of release and let go of the hips. And now we are going to come down onto our back for some recovery moves. If you are a person who has some prolapse, then cardio sometimes might be a little bit problematic for you if it's too much intensity and maybe you pushed yourself a little bit too far. Now this was a very low impact routine, so it probably was just fine. But I want to show you some recovery moves that you can use after any workout that can help you feel better after you've done a cardio session. So for this next little bit, you're going to end up on the floor. And if you have a yoga block, you're going to want to go have it handy. So go grab that yoga block. All right, I'll meet you down on the floor. All right, come down through your elbow onto your back. Just have your block nearby, somewhere handy. And we're going to begin with butterfly breathing and inner thigh activation. So you're not going to lift your hips up off the floor for this move. What I want you to do is let your knees come apart on the inhale, and then on the exhale, slow and controlled, bring those legs together. Your hips stay down on the floor. So inhale, knees come apart, and exhale, knees come together. Now what you're doing is you're feeling this release as you inhale. Pelvic floor releases and relaxes. All that activation can make things really tight and overly active. But as you exhale, you draw the knees together, the inner thighs activate, which overflow to activate the pelvic floor. You should feel a kegel come really easily, a little pelvic floor lift, and a fired up feeling of that center line. And then you release. So again, the whole point of this is just to kind of relax, but then to also bring our focus back to how it feels to be really lifted through that pelvic floor. So we're releasing, and we're kind of restoring that feeling of how it feels to be lifted through the pelvic floor. Nice and engaged. Now go ahead and just let it go. Let your knees or feet come apart. Windshield wiper the knees side to side. Totally relax and let go. Breathe deeply. No more holding of the pelvic floor. Just relax. We're going to next do an abdominal vacuum move. So there are different ways to do this, and I'm going to show you 2 different ways to do it. So here's the first way. You're going to simply inhale into your side ribs. So feel your hands at your side ribs. And you're going to feel like you're inhaling and exhaling into your side ribs. So first start with an exhale. Let the ribs come together. Now inhale into the side ribs. And exhale again, the ribs come together. The next time you're going to inhale into the side ribs, but keep them expanded as you exhale. You're going to feel, and the next inhale and exhale, you still keep the ribs expanded. And you're going to feel everything gently vacuuming upwards. So I'm just going to go ahead and show you, and I want you to try this on your own. So again, you're inhaling into the ribs, and then you're going to hold them expanded as you exhale. And then you're going to inhale again, keep them expanded as you inhale and exhale. And then you'll do it one more time. I'm just going to show you now, no words. So and release. So you can play with that. That's kind of a gentle way to do this vacuum abs technique. And now here's the other way that's more common that you've probably seen before and done before. So you can do whichever one you like best. But the point of these vacuum abs is it releases pressure on your pelvic organs. It pulls everything up like a vacuum, lifting all of the pelvic organs upward, taking the pressure off the pelvic floor. So the other way is you inhale and then exhale all the air out. And then you do kind of a false inhalation as your ribs expand, and you'll feel that vacuum effect. So here we go again. I'm going to show you now with no words. So we inhale and exhale all the way air out, and then we do a false inhalation where your ribs expand and you feel a vacuum up. So here we go. All right, play with that. I have other videos that talk about this vacuum abs technique, so you can watch those other videos too, but it's a really nice recovery move after workouts because it does reduce some of that downward pressure on your pelvic floor. So the last move that I'm going to leave you with is simply placing a yoga block under your bum and just ending with a nice bridge pose. Now in this position, this supported bridge, your pelvic organs are being pulled back down into place, or I should say back up into place by using gravity. So you're using gravity to pull everything back into place and just reduce some pressure on your pelvic floor muscles themselves. So in this position, you can have your feet apart and knees together if that feels good, or you can just have your legs apart and relaxed. Or you can also use pillows, prop up a bunch of pillows and let your legs kind of flop apart and just feel that totally relaxed and opening feeling of your pelvic floor muscles. But it's nice to do this with pillows or something like that propped under your knees. It just feels really, really relaxing. So the key right now is just to release your pelvic floor muscles, let them relax. We all tend to be a little tighter than we think we are in our pelvic floor, even if we have issues like prolapse or bladder leakage. Sometimes there can be some tension in the pelvic floor, and it's not doing you any good if there's tension and you don't know how to relax. In order to strengthen, you must actually start from a relaxed state. So it's essential that you give yourself the opportunity to release the pelvic floor. I never want you to feel like you're having to zip up or hold that tension that I showed you at the beginning, that activation of the deep core. You don't need to hold that all day long. As long as your position is really good and your posture is really good, your alignment is really good, then you don't need to worry about zipping up just when you're sitting or walking around throughout the day. That zipping up is more for your isolated core moves, for any time when you need extra balance or control, and also for times when you're lifting, pushing, pulling, or doing any type of transitional movement. That's when you want to be zipped up. Other times, just go ahead and relax. All right, so I hope that you've enjoyed this workout. We activated the core, we did some core work, we did some cardio, and now we're releasing and restoring the pelvic floor. This is what really any great exercise session should look like if you have pelvic floor issues. So I hope you'll take this pattern and use it on your own. And like I said at the beginning, I'm going to take a little hibernation. So if you would like to be alerted when my new videos show up on YouTube, when I'm back in action, then please click the subscribe button and then click the little bell to get notifications as soon as I'm back in action. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Until then, remember, eat clean, move every day, and you will shine brighter. Bye.